do believe my mic is working. There we go. Okay, so we are live now. So I have fixed everything that needs to be fixed on this chart. Good morning. I'm sorry I'm running so late. I want to show a few things that are actually pretty important in my book to get started. So before we get started, if you'll take a moment to read this, I have to put it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Pull it down. And what I'm trying to get everyone to see is when we were getting these arrows down outside the channel, so obviously you have to adapt to the higher volatility, right? So in this high volatility, what you'll notice is when you're getting the arrow up on the 24 tick, like this, okay, when you're getting the arrow up on the 24 tick, and then you come to the 15 tick. Okay, so that's right here. So you have one of three choices, right? You can take the first reversal bar, which would have been this, and that's a stop. That stop should be 10 points max, in my opinion. Okay? Then the next trade over here is this. You take the next two bars down. Now, I want to wait a second. When you see that, you could then go and up it based on what your own personal criteria is. In other words, if someone wanted the highest criteria, what they'd say is, I want the arrow on the 24 first, then on the 15, I want the arrow stuffed. You wouldn't have very many trades, but you'd have a very high success rate, right? The next choice would be once I get the arrow up on the 24, I take the arrow down or a plus sign down, right? Or no supply, no demand. Any of the three would work. You have three choices. And again, it becomes a 10-point stop or less, right? So the entry's here, right? And the maximum heat you took was 33 to 37, technically a 5-point stop. Held it, so you could do it with a 5 or a 7-point stop, anything that's reasonable in that neighborhood, right? That's what I would strongly suggest, right? So I'll be using a 10-point stop because that's the easiest thing for me to throw out there, right? So all I'm going to do is take the dome and put a stop. I don't want it, like today, I've determined, I don't want to take more than a 10-point stop. Everything I'll be entering will be off the 15 tick using that 24. Why can't I move this damn thing? It's really frustrating. There we go. So I'm going to go put use attached orders, targets, remove my exit target, and I'm going to put a stop loss 10 times 4 is 40 ticks. Okay. Which is $200. And that's the biggest stop I'll use. I may move it, right? Bang. Use attached orders, chart, duplicate chart. No attached orders. This is why I have two domes, one to enter on, one to exit on. Okay, so what I want you to do and what I want you to see is when you're getting the reverse order, let me go through a few more examples here, right? So I'm not going to use the overnight, I'll use the prior, right? So you see the down arrow over here, right? So you see the arrow is pointing to it, it's this bar right here, right? And then you'll see, so normally I have two choices. I either can reverse on the 24, I can take the reversal bar off the 15, or I can take the arrow up. Both of these are 10-point stop, however you choose to do it, right? I'm just going to go through a couple of examples. Okay. So that's econ. So again, okay. So when we look over here, see this plus sign? This plus sign would set me looking for a short, right? So let's see, because you can already see you got a little choppy in there. So that's right here, right? So I have two choices, or three choices actually. So if I just take the reversal bar, it's 1 with the arrow, right? So if I go, hey, I need the arrow on, let's just start with the reversal bar. 1, 2, 3. Next you say, well, Simon, if I'm going to take that trade, I need the arrow. Then it's 1, Okay, that gave you a 1-to-1 RR on that stretch right there, right? That's entry 1. This is entry 2 if you need the arrow. I like waiting for the arrow. It makes it easy. The reason I like waiting for the arrow is A, it shows up before the bar is complete, right? And B, it's a very specific formula. I don't have to go and put all the pieces together simultaneously, right? I'm going to give you another example. On the long. Okay, here's an example where I get the plus sign. Right, I get the plus sign on the downside. I'm gonna mark that off right here. Now I'm going to bring it over. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at now. This is a good example. If you said, well, Simon, I am waiting for the arrow up. Well, you never get it, right? So the alternative here, so the first reality of that is if you wanted to go, I'll take the arrow up after I get that with a 10-point stop. The reality is you never got the trade, okay, because there never was an arrow up to take that trade. Choice number two was I'll just take the reversal bar. If you did that with no algo on it, right, you took this. If you needed a no supply, no demand, which is fine to take, right, it was this entry right here. I'm not trying to cover off all my trades. The entry I actually personally like the most is just a simple reversal bar. But the fact is, if you'll wait for the arrow on the gross majority of your trades, you'll have a very high win rate and a push. What you have to know on this is that this is arrow stuffed after you had the plus sign down on the 24, and that is likely to rip. But the problem is for newer traders, when I set up so many combinations of trades, people get confused. So this is what I'm suggesting and telling people, right? Pick, before the market even opens, pick which way you are going to trade. I'll give you another example. Over here. So this is where it would have gotten, in my opinion, probably difficult, right? Why? Because if you look at this, I would have said starting here, that plus sign and this arrow is up on the outside, right? So we'll just mark it. They kind of came back to back. We'll mark it right here. You mark that right there. So now you have a couple of choices. So the first question is, so obviously this reversal bar paid from there, right? So the question is, did the arrow down with a 10-point stop you or not? So here's your entry, right? If you don't get the entry, I suggest you limit it, right, at that 68 quarter and see if they come back, which means my stop is at 78 quarter. Right there. So you can see that that did not get stopped. And my suggestion is, if you're running two contracts, right, 10 micros, whatever combination you're running, is that you take a scale right here and leave the stop as is. Why? That's a 68 to 60.75. I realize it's not quite 1-to-1, but it's close, right? And you're down just slightly by a hair, right? And then what you'll see is another plus sign pulled up over here, right? So if I follow the same process where I'm going to take the arrow down, right, this becomes my next entry right over here. So I'm just going to rearrange the chairs. So I have a 79.50 that puts my stop at 89.50. Okay, I want 2 bars down. So I take my scale here. And then we see what happens. And in this case, it worked out quite nicely considering it was trend day up, right? And all of that got generated from the 24 to the 15. Now, if the market is too fast, let's say this again, if the market is too fast, you can also just take the turn bar on the 24. I would suggest you consider a 15-point stop on that trade if you're going to trade it strictly off the 24. But what I am driving at very, very hard, by the way, some people asked, the pink dots and purple dots, they're the no supply, no demand bar. I'm just trying to keep a minimalist, the fewest amount of colors off the screen, so it's very, very easy for people to look at the trade and execute the trade, right? So some people want to see when there's a no supply, no demand. So the pink dot is, instead of painting the whole bar, I'm trying to keep a Fruit Loops look off of my screen, right? And that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming from. So what I am adding today is I'll be trading, right? You will see my trades appear on the screen, hopefully in real time. We'll see about that. I have a bit of an anxiety about doing that, so we'll see how it works in real time. But that's the method I'll be following today. And that method actually worked quite well once it slowed down. Now, I want to talk about yesterday morning and about the speed. I want kind of a Goldilocks market, not too fast, not too slow, right? And we've gone from way slow to way fast. So, but I noticed something very interesting for myself yesterday, which was, so I've gotten kind of lazy and I started sitting down. And that's been no bueno for me, right? And what I've noticed is I spend a lot of time when I'm sitting looking at the market as a whole instead of looking at the algos individually. So if you were in the room yesterday afternoon, I was literally going, there's the arrow down, this is the reversal, this is the entry, and I'm going to attempt to replicate that. That's been something that's been sorely missing in my game. It had good results yesterday, and I hope to replicate that today. We shall see. We shall see. Also on ES, I will be attempting to trade ES. It's been a while, right? I'm on a 5-tick, and it's the same methodology. If I get the arrow down, right, I'm looking for the reversal bar. The stop is tight on this. It's 3 points, right? If I enter here, this is the low of that bar. And so it's 78.50 to 75.25, which is 3.25 points, and 2 bars up gives you 78 to 81. So 2 bars up give you a 1-to-1 RR on that trade. I am trying to get ES going. It's been a while, but it is moving. I would like to trade it. I like to trade it because I can trade size in it. I don't have much else to add. I just want to do the profile really quick. Does anyone have any questions over what I said? Did that make sense? What I explained? What I'm explaining there should hold true from what I'm saying in coaching to what's on the screen to what the result is in real time. There's not a reason not to be profitable in the room right now. There simply isn't. The trade's really, really good. The trading is very good. And if you'll stay on process, right? And you'll avoid trading the most dangerous time, which is in the first half hour. So if you want to trade in the first half hour, knock it out. You will not see a trade come across my screen in the first half hour. Okay, I won't. It's too fast. There's too much risk that the stop gets hit in a nanosecond, sets me on tilt, and the reward can be very high in the first half hour, but the pain can be very high too. And it's all about keeping the dollars, right? So we'll see how that goes. We're in a little bit of a downtrend. Let's get this chart over here and just mark off quickly the important areas. Okay, so this is overnight. I'm just going to mark this chart up. Globex high. We're near Globex low. Oh, let's erase these lines. Sorry. There we go. Globex high. Globex low. Prior day's high. Prior day's low. That's all I'm worried about right now. If we get below yesterday's low, we'll start looking. It would be a really big move back down. Not that that can't happen, just it would be a really big move. Lock. Value area low. Value area high. So while I'm mentioning this, let me tell you what the first issue will be today. Can we consolidate for more than half an hour below value area low? Will be the first thing to consider, right? If we don't get below value area low, overall buyers remain in control. Prior day's volume point of control, light blue. I will be taking trades there if it sets up, by the way, just so you know. This morning on Econ, we've got $8.45. S&P ISM manufacturing. 9 o'clock U.S. ISM manufacturing PMI. So both of those could move the market potentially significantly. At the close, Amazon, Intel, and Apple. I cannot stress how big those numbers are. Amazon, Intel, Apple, right? So keep that in mind. Let's see if we got anything else. And then let's look to the left a little bit, see what we got up here. Okay, so yes, you can stop now. Ooh, didn't like that. Okay, so we have this was the overnight gap down area where we trended down through it. So that area, let's mark it off so we have it. So it looks like this. This was the day that we fell apart. Let me make sure I have this right. Okay, so this was the overnight. Oh, I have to spread that out to actually see it. Hold on. I'll do it right. Okay, so this was the 24th. This was the 23rd overnight. And as you can see, we're trading. Come on. I don't know why this doesn't want to move. There we go. So this was the overnight. This was the 24th. So this was all the way through that overnight, that level right there, that 19655. That's where we, here we'll make it just a color we don't normally use. I don't know. Purple dashed. Okay, so what that is was the overnight where we fell apart, right? This was the prior day, so when you look at that, the natural target, if we come up and test, would be this naked volume point of control right here. Right? This high. Why did not, oh, why this does not want to drag. It sure doesn't. Yeah. Ah, that'll be why. Yes, thank you. So high. There we go. So we are, so when you look at this, we're above that meltdown evening where we melted down and then we continued the meltdown through the day, right? We've come all the way up. We're currently trading 19,529. Overnight we pushed into, right? Into the day where we had that trend day down, the meltdown overnight. Overnight we came across that. We trapped back in at 19,655, which is what this is. Let me make sure it's locked. Okay, so I would assume that's the retest back up to test during the U.S. session, because we're going to head for that 19,655, and then yesterday's high, which is at 19,574, and then value area low. Before you get bearish, we need to consolidate for half an hour underneath 19,400. I would be looking at that 19,400 for longs, and then single prints all the way down at the bottom that need to be repaired. I would highlight that. So that's 19,343 roughly, and I would expect responsive buyers from that location. And then the last thing I would do is I would break this down into little pieces, right? So when you break that down into little pieces, what you will see is I would have said I'd like to get below this. This was the close. I'd like to test underneath here or test underneath Globex low, right? And then when I look at this, what are the levels that I'm interested in? I'll mark those with white. Right now, I'd like to get underneath here, 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 here. Those are my targets for finding responsive buyers. Notice that's not at the volume point of control, although the volume point of control might work just fine, right? And then where am I looking to push up to? Half hour level, half hour level, half hour level. This is the simplest thing I do, right? These are all key. Oops, sorry. And then obviously Globex high above this. Okay, so now we have a format to go and look. For example, if I wanted to trade, I can use some key areas. Yesterday's high, 19,574, but I would prefer the 19,605. Why? Because I know if you follow auction market theory, the auction market theory says the most recent information is the best information. The most recent information says we started that last half hour into the open at 19,605. If I was short from 19,649, I would move my stop to 19,606 or something like that. That's how that reasoning goes. Just like I would say, well, just underneath that half hour low, right, there's stops. People went long here right before the open. They said, I'm going to put my stop right there. Stops got tagged, found responsive buyers, pushed back up. That's the entire reasoning behind that, right? So now we have that laid out up and down on the chart. Let's scoot that over. And if you will wait patiently to get to one of those time frames, your trade win rates and extensions will have a much better result. Okay, so I'll see if this trading on this computer doesn't slow it down. I had problems last time. We'll just take it step by step. But again, what I'm looking for, see through here, arrow down. All right, there's your arrow down. So I bring that back to the left, right? So what did I get? So the plus sign is the other thing you could have substituted for arrow up, right? Again, I got arrow down on ES before the open, arrow up, and I would like those to occur. I would like it to touch the fourth channel before I take the trade for the reversal. Where this will not work, particularly on ES, and cause you losses, is on trend day down. If you can't recognize that we're just getting eviscerated to the upside or eviscerated to the downside, you will have challenges, to say the least. Okay, so at any rate, I think we're prepped for the day. I'm prepped to see how this looks, or pumped at least to see how this looks when I throw this up on the charts in real time. But I can already see that this is my domes are operating compared to my other computer slower than usual, so I will have to scratch my head and figure that one out. Okay. And again, 8:45 and 9 o'clock, big econ. I'm probably going to go refill my coffee cup here in a minute, so I can watch the big econ and see what kind of fun they have with it. But it's hard for me to imagine, not impossible, just hard for me to imagine that they are going to not buy. So see that this red arrow down that's forming, right? So now I would look for the first up bar on NQ, if I was just waiting for, so see how it went 2 bars at one time, right? So that's just how it works, right? And then I would expect, so see how that trapped underneath there on the 24? You couldn't have gotten that on the 15. Let's be incredibly clear. There was no human way you were going to get that trade, okay? There was just no human way you were going to get that trade. If you were trying to get it on the 15, you could have gotten it on the 24, but this printed 3 bars in 1 second, right? There's no way to get it, okay? But once it slows down just a hair, we will be able to capture those, okay? And again, what gave me the setup? Oh, arrow down. This one's even more important, outside the channel completely, right? I'm looking for the reversal back up. Also notice the difference in performance between ES, which is on the right, and NQ on the left. ES barely dipped down while NQ came and took out the lows. And I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to run over the house and get some coffee. Well, that's a long, isn't it? I'm headed right for where that, to re-auction that whole area up. So this is a place, right? When it's ripping straight like this, I wouldn't take a short in this part of the process, right? Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. That's as impulsive move as it gets, right? I would not expect. I would expect it to come out and take out that 19,655 and then the 19,661.75. I wouldn't expect it to fall apart from here. I wouldn't be looking short. Taking out those another overnight swing at 19,661.75. That's what it's doing right now. And then 19,693 would be next. Obviously, I have Again, plus sign down on the 24. Reversal bar or arrow bar up. Okay, just that's going to be the rhythm constantly of what we're looking for. That, by the way, the pink line is the 100 period moving average. Good job. I totally agree with it. Again, looking for the arrow down. Again, no arrow down, but what this was an apex trap. We had the plus sign over here. Apex trap, and what led that off were the arrows up on the 15 tick. You did have time to grab that one. Not that I did, but you did have time. By the way, I'm not opposed to the shorts today, one way or the other. Nasdaq's up 134, ES is 35.75. My intention is and 5 minutes to leak on. Again, this really completes the auction back up at that 19,655 where we went through that entire liquidation. So we'll try a little bit of everything today. 16,693 is the target up. Again, you'll notice those half-hour levels where it's just rejecting off of those levels are becoming a pivot point. And I won't be trading for a couple minutes till after the number comes out, and then we'll let them see what they're going to do. So see how we don't get to the fourth channel here? I would treat that as a scalp. The arrow down, arrow up. And again, we're 1 minute in front of econ, so it doesn't count. But that's where I would look for a scalp long. We arrow down, reversal bar, super tight stop, and lift. And I would not be surprised by a big down move today at some point. That's not the same as being bearish, however. No arrow down, no plus sign down on the 24, which gives me pause. Hey girls, have a seat. Please turn that down. Nice. Nice, Brian. Hey, Joyce, can you turn your camera off, please, if you can hear me? I'll try to do it on my end. Oh, I show it off now. Okay, got it. Okay. You're good. It's off. Sorry. Old message. Oh, wait. I see it's on. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Now, there we are. That should be better, guys. Okay, so see the plus sign over here? I didn't short it, but see the plus sign? It ran right into the 30 minutes, right? Now the down bar. So now you have two choices. So are you looking for the reversal bar, which would have been this, or the down arrow, right? So let's see if I dip my toe in the water. So my entry here for the down bar would be 52. I got it. I'm going to flat it, but for some reason, I got it at 52, but for some reason, let's see, trade. It should have shown it here. Trade, that's what I wanted to see. Show order fills, show orders and positions. I don't understand. Took a trade. It should show the trade. Alright. I shorted it right here on this stuff. It doesn't show up. Guys, anyone have a suggestion for how I get that to show on the screen? Am I missing something? I'm trying to get my trades to show. Like I took a trade at 52. I already covered it, but it should have shown up on the screen. It's just not. The DOM has to be loaded from the chart you want to display. Control Shift O. Nothing. So, okay, but he's saying it has to be loaded from the chart I want to display. Got it. So I'll just work on it later, guys, and focus on what the trade setup is now. Okay, so see how we're ripping straight down here? There's no give or take in the order flow, right? I don't want to blindly take my trades, or if I do, right? So if I start taking these reversals, right? These single reversal bars, this is what I'm talking about. At least get a second bar on your lift, and preferably an up arrow or an algo. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Joshua. So I'm going to worry about getting this on later this afternoon. I thought it would show up. Sorry, guys. We'll fix it so that it does. It should come off my DOM that's on my other screen without me having to trade off this chart. Yeah, I agree. Nice job, Brian. So I'll fix it later and we'll get it to show up. Sorry about that. This puts us back into yesterday's high, above. Just keep track of where you are on the chart so you don't lose your spatial recognition. So this puts us back into yesterday's high at 19,574. This was the level where we were trading, where I said we should probably meet exhaustion, backside test, and a 30-minute level. Now we're coming down to, so if you look at the half hour, that 19,502 was exactly the low, right? So what we'd like to do, you have to have stops tagging behind those. So what I would like to see is a tag behind 19,502, then get the signal to, what have we been doing? Sweeping the range. See if I can't replicate that trade. And the other thing that you want to be careful of is see the overnight value area, which runs from 19,680 to 19,580, that 100-point range through there. You want to be careful trying to counter it either way, right? And then the same thing with yesterday's value area, the areas outside of those. So I will treat everything inside of here as a scalp. Everything outside of here, I will attempt to push a little bit further. Okay, that's how I handle it, at least. Back up to the 19,605, where we just rejected off of, is the pre-open half-hour high before the open, right? So see how I have this plus sign now? I would look for an arrow down or an algo down to release to the downside, okay? And again, that's the place where I didn't get the algo on the 15 tick, right? So that happens sometimes. We had the right location. You kind of want everything to fit at the same time at the right place and in the right way. And my intention is to grab a couple of ES trades today too. Oh, wait. I can do that. Confirmation orders. Oh, got it. Okay, I've clicked everything I possibly can to get that to work, so we'll see. Oh, wait, what do I do with the chart? Tragedy. Nope. I swear I lost this chart. Just not it. Oh, I got it. There it is. Hovering right above prior day's high. So see how you're getting the arrows up here? Now it's getting stuck. All right, so you would use this red arrow down for the continuation lower with the 1 bar stop. So this would have been your, so if you're following the process, right? First of all, you didn't get outside the, oh, that's 32 tick. Hold on. Why am I having this difficulty? 32. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. You got outside the channel, but you didn't get the white arrows up. When you got the white arrows up over here, right, you weren't outside the 4th channel. So if you're trading it strictly in a disciplined fashion, you would wait. That is a 100 period moving average on a 15 tick chart. Just gives me a general idea of, it helps me catch the trend based on which way I see it moving, but I don't trade off of it, Brian. Obviously some algos do, you can see from the way they respond around it, but I don't. So now I'm at the 4th channel on the 24 tick, right? If I wanted to short, this is where I would want to start from the most disciplined standpoint, looking for my trading opportunities. So there's the arrow up, right? So this 03, 25, already printed. So I shorted the 0350 with a 10-point stop. And that would be with a 13 stop on there, right? And my goal would be to push that back down towards 74, right? So now I've got 15 points. I'm gonna just flatten that trade. I wish it would show up on the screen, but it's not because I'm a little bit out of sync. But what I did was exactly what I showed pre-market, right? Arrow up, reversal bar, or I could have entered on this reversal bar, the arrow down with a 10-point stop, target back to the bottom of the channel, basically, right? So by the way, just in those 2 trades, trading small, right, because I'm trying to get to show on screen, that's still 31 points, $610, right, for 45 minutes, not even, of work so far. Okay, look for it on one, go to the other, get it to line up. Now I'm looking, what am I looking for? We're coming down to retest. I want to push down here to see someone push and try to exhaust it, right? And I may not get it. I don't have to get every turn or every setup, right? But I am looking for them to set that up down there off the 24. Now, when would I stop using the 24 and just use the 15? When the VIX drops, right? Nice. Nice, Joshua. Okay. So see that arrow up? If I take this trade, it's not at the 4th channel, right? It's fine to take, just realize, right? Just realize if you take that trade, you're susceptible to getting run where? To the top of the channel, right? And getting more stops. If you'll wait for the 4th channel, you'll have an easier time. Yeah, I agree, Joshua. It is very, very fast. Obviously, ES is starting to trend down. ES has a long way to go before it hits a half-hour level. The volume point of control for ES, which I assume there'll be responsive buyers there, is sitting at 55.60 to 55.57. Okay, see how this is your last arrow down over here? So this will be a good place to see when we're just slipping what it looks like. So starting here, which is right here on the channel, plus sign stopped, arrow up stopped. So what do you do in that situation, which we didn't take either trade? So the first thing you'll notice is if you look on your chart, you haven't taken out a half-hour level. Let me show you. We're still in pretty much the same place that we were in, right here. Okay, so you have a picture of, oh wait, that's ES, excuse me. Back you go, ES. Back over here, NQ. There we go. So what am I looking for? Right. So obviously, that 19,502 is where all the stops have to be sitting, and then that prior first half hour, right? But the other way you defend against that, let's say you didn't know that, okay, and you kept taking the trades, right? So if you did that in series, plus sign long, stopped, arrow down, up, this bar was not stopped. So this is one stop here. This is your entry. So it depends on where you took it, right? This is arrow down stuffed, so you wouldn't have to wait for the arrow up. Arrow down stuffed, entry, 50 with 40 as your stop. Put your stop right here. Maximum favorable excursion was 69. If both those trades took a stop, I would pause till I got another setup. So now you have arrow down again, right? You look on your chart, see that 14 and 30, you might as well let them take out that bottom, right? So, but let's go through the sequence. That's what I'm waiting for because we're kind of stuck in this trance. But if I wanted to, I could take my long right here at 34, stop 24, there's 42. I don't think you quite got 10 on that. You need the 43.50, which is where I would scale. I didn't take it because I was talking, right? 43.50 for the scale, right? You'll notice ES has started trend down there, right? And that is how I would trade it. So I would look for this 43.50 for my first scale. That would give me roughly 8 points. There would be the scale. There's the 10 points. Now you're either going to stop break even if you think that's the reversal point, which I don't, because where I really want to push those trades is on the break of those half-hour levels, right? Nicely and calmly. So now I think I can go back to trading my account normal. Also remember, I'm already up 31 points, $610, right? So I don't have to keep pressing if I don't want to. I don't have to keep trading if I don't want to. Obviously, I want to. I'd love for that 14 to get tested. And just so you can see the bigger picture here real quick. Well, I'm not going to do that. Let's just scoot over. Here's the 32 tick. Stop's got to be sitting back over here behind all of this. All right. Looking for another arrow down on the 24. There's my plus sign down. So now I can look for my reversal bars, right? That was very, very quick. I took the arrow, sorry, I don't have time to call it arrow down. I just got lucky. I'd already put a limit in for only one contract. So that tacked on another 11 points, whatever, 45.50. You can see what I want down here. The plus sign's good. I want an arrow down outside this channel. All right. I wish this would just show on the screen so y'all can just see where I'm taking them. No arrow down over here, so I'm going to be on hold. It may not get it, right? It may come down. Right, the volume point of control is at 19,452. Right down here. Let's just see some excess on the waves. No arrow down. Okay, so that's just going to put me on hold until I see another arrow down, right? Especially when we're starting to accelerate to the downside. I want to see someone push, and that arrow is my best bet at seeing someone push. Starting to see some excess over here. No arrow down, so for me, I know we have a wide enough range that the 24 tick should work. So I'm just going to take my hands off. If I miss it, I miss it. I'm okay with that. My guess is they're going to pop it right into that 52.42. Guys, the ranges are really wide. There's a few of you that have this, it's got to reverse, it can't go straight down or it can't go straight up mentality. I would suggest you defend against that. So what I didn't want to see is the yellow sign up before getting a sell sign down. I got it. Give me the garage door on it. Coming up on. Why do I feel like this is wrong? Oh, got it. I see why. Okay. And IB low. We're coming back into IB low. We've now swept through. Again, what I didn't see was a push down. I did not see a push down on the 24. I do have a plus sign up over here, so if I can get to the fourth channel. And getting to the fourth channel, unless I know we're on trend day down, is my insurance policy, right? Plus sign up. So that was tricky, right? Arrow down, so the turn bar kept it, right? So the best way to learn it is to watch, right? Arrow up, stuffed after the plus sign. Okay. And my favorite one, okay, and then what you put in your notes is not touching the fourth channel on the 24. And the only place that'll work really well is on true trend day down. And what I'm looking for is for them to come back down and put an arrow down, preferably into that 42 to 44 or 20 to 13 to give me the reversal. And then I would try to balance it, get for balanced day, and see if I couldn't push my trailers up. Come back for another test. Yes, sir. ES is pushed into its volume point of control. NQ hasn't. From overnight. Oh no, from prior day. Excuse me. Stand corrected. I'm looking for an arrow down over here to set me up with a reversal and trap underneath Globex low, Randy. This puts NQ down 26 and ES flat for the day. So I'm looking for an arrow down on the 24 tick. No arrow down yet. Arrow down, so now I'm looking for the bar up. So I'm going to start limiting 68 quarter, 64.50. I'm just looking for the reversal here, 60.75. I'm at 60.75. They did not show a fill yet. Looking for 46, pot 50, it was too fast. I just sent the orders, guys. I wish this would show my fills. So now I'm up 96.75 points, 97 points, almost $2,000. Okay, all I'm doing is looking for arrow down and starting to look for my reversal on the right and doing the best. It's fast market. That part I can't control. And just trying to grab the trades as I can. When it slows down, these will be easier to grab. So what I'm asking the members, Brian, Randy, Ed, Joshua, am I doing it the way I described it in the videos, the coaching, and in the pre-market? Is it making sense when I'm saying I'm looking for the trade, I'm taking the trade, all that stuff? Okay? And that's why I'm saying everyone in the room should be finding profitability. Yes, there are some stops, right? But this has been consistent in ES and NQ. The ES is giving you a one-to-one lift pretty consistently, right? And so is NQ. It is fast. I can't fix that part, right? It's NQ. Again, back in again, arrow down. So I am looking for the algo up here. It'd be 50 right now. It'd be 45.75. $42 and $43. I'm in the third ad, 39.33 is what it's showing me, with a stop at 31.50 is what it's showing me. So that may get elected. I'm going to move the stop. Well, it's going to get hit right now. Didn't have time to move it. So 2 of the entries got hit, and that's fine. I'm totally good with that. I upped the size on that trade because I really thought I could get the reversal there, and I'll take the next one. So that's trade 1. Although here it doesn't show it reversed. That's a little frustrating. Oh, that's where 39. I just didn't work fast enough. Long 33. I'm not waiting for the arrow. And I may get stopped again. 20's the stop.
Mommy? Where's Mommy?
Mommy had to go to the house real quick, sweetheart. So quick. I had no chance to scale that. So the stop stays in place. The stop's going to get elected. Too fast. And I can't even see it turning. Although it didn't get hit yet. I'm still long. I haven't gotten hit yet. That's a trap. I will push that further than my normal scale if you need it. Wow, it's so bleeding fast, guys. I would slow down on the entries until it slows down. It went profitable, then it stopped. I'm either going to get hit or I'm going to get paid. One of the two. There's 42. Scale 1. Scale 2, and I'll leave my trailer. It puts me back at plus 81 with 18 points open, and I'll leave it. Flatten. Damn, I hit flatten when I was plus 23 and it came back too quick. Plus 85.25. It was too fast. I tried to grab it up there. So, I'm not the only, y'all aren't the only ones that struggle when it's mega fast like that. Like, I don't have some kind of magical sense. But what I do is I just go, okay, well, they're going to pay me or they're going to stop me, one of the two. And what I wanted to do and I did not do is we trap back into that apex back to the left. And I wanted to try to push that first swing to the other side. But that's all right. I'll improve that as I go along. Is the commentary helping, guys, or too much information? If it's too much information, you can just DM me and I'll tone it down. Okay, cool. Thanks, Joshua. So all I am doing is looking for the algo arrow down as my primary indicator. I'm taking stops along the way. I'm managing my risk, right? The stop goes in automatically as 10 points. Why? Because you can see it's moving so fast, I don't have a chance to even move it. And I know that 10 points holds it on that 15 the majority of the time, right? And then for the shorts, I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking for that arrow up outside the channel, down, and then the only extra evaluation I'm doing is this a good environment to contra trend or not? Yesterday, I was pretty hesitant to contra trend to the short side, pretty willing to go to the long side in the afternoon, right? By the way, this is great on ES if you can get it. I didn't see it, and it's hard to manage both simultaneously. Prepared to load up again. Into the volume point of control, arrow down if you'll please. No arrow down. That's just going to trap off to the left there. So you have to decide whether you want to take that or not. 27 would be the number right now. Now 23. Now 19. Now 17. I didn't have a chance to move my order, so I got filled through at 19. Scaling, 2 contracts, and I'm pushing that last one. Stop sits at the low. Now, I'm going to see if I can't push that. So I have a stop sitting at 06, which I show as the low. And it may get stopped. And so what that will cost me is the 15 points. Right now I have 104.75 points. Okay. And I will leave the trailer on. which is currently up 3.75, and my goal now is to, off that trap, is to push back at least to 19,451, if not for an entire day of balance, all the way back to the other side. Okay. So from 17, you're up 30 to 47, approximately. Right into a 30-minute period and the 100 period moving average if you need to scale. As a matter of fact, I'll take that. So I scaled right there. That puts me up 146.5 points, or almost $3,000 on the day. Again, this is on, I'm trading two accounts, my own cash account and this account simultaneously, so it's a little bit hard. But what I'm hoping to show y'all when I'm coaching y'all, what I'm hoping to show y'all is if you take the stops calmly, you keep your size correct, and then you recognize where you're in a potential area where you could rip, you can make a ton of money, right? The algo's really been refined significantly, okay? There's not a million signals on there, right? If I had my way, I'd even take off the no supply, no demand, but people want it on there, so I'll leave it on there. And I would just look for the arrows and the plus signs. Okay, so this plus sign is probably setting the edge right here for a potential upside break above 19,499. So you'll want to note that. A close above after a pullback. And the concept of the bow and arrow, pull it back, let it rip, launch through. Right? Again, what am I looking for now? Arrow down on the 24 to give me the setup for a reload back to the upside. Again, that's a 30-minute period from on the way down. The top of this current half hour on NQ, you should be marking these on your chart so you know where they are. So 42.75 to 52 is the bottom of the prior half hour and the current top of this half hour. Damn it. $72.50, right? So above $72.50, you have all this. It's poorly auctioned. It can get re-auctioned, right? So right now your stops, your current low of the day, stops have to be sitting under that for the longs. If I was still long, that's where I put my stop. You have to be targeting the break at the top of the half hour at $72.50, and then the natural target, I don't know why I have that. Oh, is Globex low at 502 is the other target up. Okay. All those should be giving you areas to think about, like going, oh, I could push here, or, oh, I could push there, in terms of the trade. Okay. I'm getting ready to load back into the trade again. No arrow down on the left. You have you do have a plus sign over here. You do have some excess on the downside. See if they get it. I couldn't get that trade. I'll take the next bar up. Limit 27. Limit 23. 50. Oh, it already gave it to me. Cancel all. I'm long. 1975. Sorry, it just moved too fast. I couldn't move through the dome quick enough. 1975 is my long. Again, we'll see. I have a 10-point stop on that. Looks like it's going to get hit. It is hit. Okay, and I'll take one more shot on the long side here. So 1950 again. $12. 8. Now I need, oh, I got the arrow down. I'll take the next signal. That's why the stop is there. All right, so now I'm up 126.25. Long. They get hit right away, but on that one. 99. Stops are sitting at 92.25. I just took the reversal bar. I didn't wait for an algo. Right? Looking to scale the second bar up. And again, look at the condition we're in. So I have to stay away. Hey, if I take 2 stops, I need to pause and wait for another. Looking for 0850 for my scale. Scaled. I'm back to plus 136 with the trailer. Canceling the balance. So I had 3 contracts there. And I'm canceling the balance of my orders. And I will try to swing that now. And 86 takes them out. It looks like they're going to get it. Got it. That's fine. Very fast on the dome, by the way, guys. Very, like at an extreme. Arrow down again, looking for the up bar. The problem is when the up bar is printing, it's printing all 3 ups at one time. So you can wait till it slows down if you want to. Right? That's a valid tactical move. We're below a 30-minute level. I am long 89. It's late. Adding. Stop it low. And it looks like I might get hit. So that would be 2 stops if I get tagged, and I did. Right? That would be 2 stops if I get hit. Right? So, and I did. Right? So now I'm up 70 points, right? So now I want to get into the area where I'm like, okay, I took 2 stops, I took my trades on reversal. What did I do? I was just taking the bars, and the main issue I'm having is it's just too fast. Even if it's lifting, I'm not exiting fast enough to get my exit, right? So I can do something here, right? Pause and go, oh, look, ES is just getting pounded, right? I can wait for supernova, okay? I can stop and manage my risk and go, it's too fast, too quick to the downside. I can go, I'll wait till I see it normalize in terms of the setup, right? What is going on? Hold on, I'm having an issue here with this trade. Oh, I know what I did. I flatted. I hit the wrong button. Got it. Okay. Good. And that should be long. Arrow down, bar up against the low. Again, we just get into these free fall modes, right? There's not a lot you can do about it, Okay? When they go free falling, they go free falling. Look at that. So this is exactly where you go, hey, maybe I need to pause and look at other alternatives to doing what I'm doing, right? Instead of just keep taking the trade, and that's where you balance. Like, look at a 5 minute, it's all straight down. Is it frustrating? Yeah, a little bit, but we had a 700-point range yesterday, right? Coming into the single prints, can't believe we're going to give the whole thing back, but they are. So that's bringing me down to 48 points of P&L from what was 150 something, right? Please keep that in mind. It doesn't always go perfectly smoothly for me, okay? And part of it was I was talking and walking at the same time, meaning trading. Just craziness. I'll wait for an arrow up now. Too many stops in a row. And very annoying, by the way, on the market. If you look at a 5 minute, this is really hard when you just get sweeping ranges constantly like this. Very, very frustrating. And you can see where if we were just underneath a little bit, a monochrome of control in terms of the ranges in this thing, we would be okay. So yes, that is a great example of where you take stops and you pause, right? Or you cut size, or you go, hey, like, did you see where I was having trouble managing it? Like, entry, and then it got to target and it got to exit so bleeding quick, right? And then if you look at here, the stop and the reversal and the rip back up, right? I literally can't get it, the orders in, right? Here's the other thing I'm discovering, and I thought CR chart was good with the dome. The dome from, it's not as fast as I thought it was, because when I'm looking at how it's moving versus how the top step is moving, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do that versus Tradevate and Edge Clear. This thing's moving really freaking slow, so I may have to find another way. The whole entire point was to trade on this, was to show how I can execute, but the dome on Sierra chart's actually lagging. That's all I can say. It's actually lagging on the exits and entries, and that's weird. So still looking for longs. I'm not bearish now. I was earlier, not now. My guess is some variation on balance today. So hopefully what I showed y'all is pausing, right? Pausing, and then this really sucks because the dome is significantly behind. Like, I'm looking at both of them on two separate computers, and this sucks. So I won't make that mistake again. Hold on a second here. I will have to figure out another way to show my trades. I should be able to do it with loading them in afterwards, I suppose. So, but I will not do it this way with this. Hold on one second. Let me try this. So let me do this real quick. Hold on. So I am taking this off of Rhythmic and I'm going to open a rhythmic specific dumb. Hold on 1 second. Oh, and I know what I need to do here. Hold on a second here. I'll handle that part later. Because it was way too slow. Let's see if I can fix this. I wonder if we'll try it this way. Arrow down, 24 tick, into the single prints. So here's how this went, right? So now you have a real-time look, right, on the way down. So if you were a trader who waited for the arrow, right, and assuming you could have gotten filled, this is how it went for you, starting back here, since we're in that 10-minute window. Here's where I got flagged for a potential long, right? So let's line these up. Hold on. Here, and then all of this. Arrow down, arrow down, arrow down. Okay. So if you took them off the 15, which I couldn't, right, and I got slipped both ways, so reversal bar, right? That one worked out good. This one stopped. This one, I think I missed my scale on that one. Again, it would be helpful if they showed. This one stopped. Wait. This one I didn't take because I'd already gotten stopped over here, so this one didn't scale. That one stopped. And then this one paid. Now, go back and do that same series with arrows up. Right? So if you took the arrows up, you took this and this. Those are your two trades in that same series. So you can go back through, right? You can go back through and go, okay, under the harshest of conditions on the way down, right? If I get caught in a sweep, what am I looking for? So there's an offset to that. When it's gentle, these will work just fine. So go back to the earlier trades where I was banking it. Your arrows came very late. That was a trade where I was able to grab the trade. Or you could do arrow down stuffed, I suppose would be the alternative. So what you would end up was arrow down stuffed, arrow up stopped, arrow up stopped, right? And then arrow down up. So what I would conclude from that, looking at all the data, right? And then if you chose to do short, you would have arrow down. If I looked at all the data, I would sift through that, right? And I go, it really bothers me if I get stopped and I'm going all the way down. If we're getting hit hard to the downside and it's just sweeping in trend day down, I either need arrow up, or what's most preferable would be arrow stuffed, right? Getting the arrow stuffed. Or the third one is, as you're coming up here, getting behind the last arrow up would be the third one I would add, right? How am I figuring that out? All I'm going through is the data I just went through, right? Y'all saw where I made money and you saw where I lost money, right? So all I'm doing is adjusting based on the real-time data. Everyone wants to go back and go, well, I'm going to back test it, right? Let me go back test 100 days. You don't have to back test it because you got the data right in front of you of what it's doing right now. If I came back to you and said, well, that worked 100 days ago, but it got my ass kicked today, you wouldn't care about 100 days ago. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter. I got my ass kicked today. Now, roll over. What's working? The arrow on the 24, right? So this is where I get the first arrow, right? And what's working the best, from what I see, is either an algo down that gets stuffed by an algo up, like this, an arrow down that gets stuffed, right? Or get arrow down, arrow up. That's what worked the best just from visually seeing it. It got us into generally the right area, right? But that's what helped me the most understand where I'm looking for the trade, right? Also, you'll notice I paused when I took those stops, right? I gave up almost 100 points in P&L pretty damn quickly, right? Why? Because as I was going up, I started this with one contract, went to two contracts, went to three contracts. I didn't expect to get swept 9:30 to 10 o'clock where we'd have a hard like if you look at a 15-minute bar, we just dropped pretty much in a straight line on a 15-minute bar, right? I would have thought we would have had that either immediately after econ, right? And it would have been a hard sweep. I didn't expect a delayed hard sweep to the downside, right? I thought that the speed of that downside move would have happened off the top, right? So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. What's going on? Are you all right? Are we arguing with Mom? Tell me about eating what? Eating it? Stop. And that is the best way I can coach that, right? So let's go back. Back into the single print, so you can see they're pressing very hard. Arrow up off the turn. That's a 10-point stop on that bar. If you want to take it, you don't have the arrow down on the... You do not have the arrow down on the 24. And they're trying to push for the low of the day. Just really hard when they do this. Straight down, straight up stuff, and we're sweeping ranges. It can be very, very frustrating. We basically swept in a straight line from 9,680 to 9,340. 300 points of range. Pretty brutal. Plus sign down. Stuffed. I'm long. Half size. 19.3 wherever they fill me here. With a stop at the low of that swing. I just got to it. 45. So 35 stop. Make it 34 for... I'm going to get stopped on it. Shit. I missed my flat. I just got swept for an extra 4 points. I did it on another account and got swept through it. Very hard. I don't know why we're doing this or why we're trading like that, but that really sucks. Arrow down. And that needs to get fixed. Wow. I do not like bleeding out for an extra 4 points. And I do not like this, hey, we're going to go all up, and hey, we're going to go all down. That's really just psychotic trading. Like, I would not have expected delayed, open drive lower. Here's the range from yesterday. Here's what we're doing. We're below yesterday's low. That is so wrong. Here's ES. Engulfing day so far. Here's NQ. That's very disappointing. I'm very lucky to be up at all. Wow. We just took out the low through there. Just crazy. All the way through the range. Back into fair pricing. Back to low. That's a 680 to 311. That's a 350 point sweep of the day. I'm lucky not to have blown anything up. That just blows. Very hard. Yeah, I see it. I see it, Randy. Yes, sir. Arrow down at the bottom that got immediately stuffed. You might want to look for an algo up to the upside from there. It's backside testing yesterday's low. It would make sense to trap in. So I'm looking for an algo up to get long. And that leaves something to be said for trading for the first hour and walking away, doesn't it? Wow. Free fall now. Arrow down. Will be long. I'll take it here against the low. I got 05, and I'm taking it out against the low, 90. Looks like I'm going to be hit like immediately. And I'm small in size. I did not expect this kind of viciousness on the reversals. I would have thought of some moderation, or we come back and search price, but there's no interest in searching price. I'm very close to getting stopped out too. Again, 90 is my stop. And I am small in size. I'm going to get stopped. Stopped. It would extremely urge caution. Whatever happened there, did Iran or Israel launch an attack or anything like that? Am I missing that? Like, we've just turned pure sell. I got a feeling that someone has launched a counterattack. Was the only thing that makes this make sense, or they're about to launch a counterattack against Israel. It's the only thing that makes sense. I'm on hold. That makes no sense at all, what we just did. Right, the whole sweep down, the whole sweep up. NQ is down 230, minus 43. I'm very, 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 very grateful to be up on the day. And not by a lot compared to what I was up. Sorry, I didn't see that coming. But that's a huge sweep on both markets. Down 40 in ES. So half of what we were up yesterday, almost, and a third of what we were up on NQ. But I don't know how else to respond to that. Like, that's crazy. We have earnings tonight, then we have the Israel thing, and we have non-farm payrolls tomorrow. But still, Joshua, that's still fruity. Like, just to give back the entire thing, and it's just dropping in a straight line. So I'll wait till the one timing, at least on a 5-minute time frame, ends. Because wow.